Which is the favoured end of the start line? How long will it take us to get to the start line? Is there time to burn? And if so, how much? Are we over? Welcome to this outline description of the Seatrack start line function in action. In this example, we are going to use a committee boat start line set in the Western Solent, and we will be using the quick ping method for setting the position for each end of the start line. First, we click on the start line configuration button. Seatrack has the flexibility to ping an end of the line using the boat's position or directly on the chart. To ping the start line using the boat's position, slowly sail or motor the yacht up to each end of the line. Ideally, you should go as slowly as possible with the bows as close as possible to the end of the line for around 5 to 10 seconds, and then click the appropriate ping button. The system takes into account the bearing and distance from the bows to the GPS antenna, so you can do this from any direction. By going slowly, you should be able to minimize possible inaccuracies due to the inevitable time lag in the GPS and instrument systems. So we now ping the starboard end from the boat and then the port end on the chart. Once we have the line configured, we can check the details giving us such vital information as line bias and distance and bearing to the first mark from each end of the line. At the warning gun, we click the warning gun button and the system will start the countdown. As we jockey for position, Seatrack will be giving us a stream of information on the time to get to the start, the time to burn, i.e. the time we need to kill to avoid being over the line at the start, the perpendicular distance from the boat to the line, the time taken to get to any point in the line, taking into account acceleration rates, deceleration rates, the time taken to turn the yacht, and also tides and the data from the boat's start line polars. Competitive racing yachts should have start line polars as well as their normal race polars. The start line polars are automatically loaded on the warning gun and then replaced by the boat's normal race polars on the starting gun. In order to avoid wind data becoming erratic by rapid manoeuvring and dirty wind from other yachts, you are able to freeze the wind direction and speed. At the starting gun, it automatically unfreezes. Note the Synchronize button at the bottom of the screen. This allows you to reset the time to start if by misfortune the warning gun was missed. Finally, there is the vital question of were we over? Often not easy to be certain on a crowded line. When you are on the right side of the line, Seatrack shows the perpendicular distance from it in green. When you are over the line, it is displayed in red. That concludes this outline description of Seatrack's start line function, a tool that can give a decisive competitive advantage. Races are rarely won, but are all too often lost on the start line. What is the tide doing during this leg? How long to the ley line? How long before we want to tack? Can we have a runway into the mark? Welcome to This Leg Tactics by Seatrack. Seatrack provides a host of vital information for the racing tactician navigator so that it is much easier and quicker to make the right decisions while sailing any leg of the course. How can you access this information and turn it to your advantage? In this example, we'll look at a round the cans race in the Western Solent with a committee boat start in the area of Quad Posthumus and heading west towards Berthans. The wind is from the southwest and the tide is just on the turn and has already started to flood, flowing to the east along the north and south shores. In the middle of the Solent there is the last of the ebb, giving a fair tide towards Berthans. We can check this on the chart screen, and by using this scroller we can view the tidal flow at 15-minute or 1-hour intervals. We have taken all this into account whilst developing our race strategy before the start, and have decided to head towards the deeper water in the middle of the Solent. From the tactics screen we can see that we should reach Berthans at about 17:30 hours, so we switch to the chart screen and check the tides for the next 45 minutes. Therefore we can plan on tacking onto port at about 17:20 in the region of Solent banks, and then tacking back onto starboard when we've reached the ley line. Seatrack can calculate the ley lines by either using the current true wind angle or the target angle to work out the course on the opposite tack or jibe. In all cases, tidal effects are included in these calculations. This proposed strategy will maximize the ebb tide benefit in the middle of the Solent and minimize the unfavorable tide inshore. There is also the added benefit of being able to make a final approach on starboard tack and give the crew the benefit of an easy approach for a port bear-away rounding. What other information do we have available? We can see the tidally adjusted ley lines both on the chart screen and on the tactics screen, and we can have multiple virtual instruments being displayed on any screen. In this instance, we have selected next leg apparent wind angle and speed, target speed and angle, true wind direction and speed, time to the ley line, and header lift compared to the mean wind direction. With this information at hand, you can easily judge wind shifts and how they are affecting the ley line, and also check that the yacht is being sailed at optimum efficiency. This concludes our brief video on this leg tactics by Seatrack. Are you ready for the next leg? Is it a spinnaker, and if so, which one? And which side to rig the pole? Allowing for the tide, what will your heading be coming away from the next mark? Welcome to this brief presentation of Seatrack next leg tactics. Imagine that your yacht is equipped with Seatrack in a round-the-cans race in the Solent. You entered the course into your system when it was signalled at the warning gun. A simple and quick process, especially if using Seatrack's proprietary index of race marks. Here then is the course. A beat from the start line to Lymington Bank, the first mark. A run over to Hampstead Ledge, the second mark, and another run back across the Solent to West Leap, the third mark. We are about 1.5 miles short of the next mark. Seatrack is constantly updating a wide range of tactical and navigational information, which is being processed from the yacht's instruments, her GPS, log and anemometer, the yacht's polars, and the electronic charts and tidal information that come with the Seatrack package. Look at the marks and timings for the start and end of the next leg, the range and bearing for the next leg, the apparent wind speed of 9.2 knots, the apparent wind angle of 142 degrees, the course to steer, in this case jibing downwind on 59 degrees and 99 degrees, with the pole to port on the first jibe after rounding the mark, sailing on port jibe for nearly 18 minutes and then jibing onto starboard for nearly 16 minutes. What other vital information for the next leg is displayed? As the system already has details of your yacht's polars and sails, at the touch of this button it displays sail plan alternatives and indicates the best of the options. You can see that Seatrack has plotted the wind speed and angle against your yacht's sail wardrobe, coming up with the optimum choice, the yellow cross as the 0.75 ounce AP. It is also possible to view this next leg tactics information together with current leg tactics on this combined screen. With this and other constantly updated information being generated by Seatrack, you are now armed with race-winning tactical input that not only ensures the best choice of course and sail selection, but also allows you to concentrate on boat speed. Actually, Seatrack's target speeds function has a role to play here, but more of that in a future video clip.